This is so much fun.
Okay, so welcome back to Disaster Kitchen again, and today is going to be something unique as I'm going to be trying another recipe from my friend Aunty Bessy, and it's going to be bread. So, I have the usual stuff: the butter, the lard, some yeast, salt, sugar, flour, and even a glass of milk. I have some warm water here, as long as I could get my autofocus to cooperate with me. Alright, I have some warm water. Of course, that's going to be helping to activate the yeast. And these things, I want to point out something pretty clever about this company. I mean, they're not sponsoring us in any way, but they have some measurements in the back here to show you just how much it is. Each of these blocks are 8 ounces. And in the back here, you can see, right in this area here, that it's divided up into quarters. So you could get a cut and know just how much you're using as well. I think that's pretty smart and deserves some kudos for that. And I'm going to be using 3/4 of this here. That's the volume of the lard and the butter that I'm going to be using. And you might be asking, well, why is there a blender when I'm going to be kneading this by hand? And how come there is milk in the mix? Well, that is simply because we're going to be using this. These are pimento peppers that we got in the market, and I'm going to be making use of that today as I go to make this white pimento bread. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so we're about to get started with it, and first I want to get to blend these up in the blender so that they will be able to be added in the flour mixture when you make it. Really nice and smooth. And what was recommended is that I make sure I have multiple colors. I have some of the peppers looking a little orange, a little red. Red is always a very exciting color, and the green, of course, to contrast. It just everything just kind of pops out, and it should make for a good appearance with the finished product, right? So I'm going to add these in the blender and give it a whirl. Of course, I can't just put the peppers alone just like that. I'm going to be putting a reasonable amount of the warm water, so it will get it cut up and everything will be able to move and come to a decent blend. Set that aside. Come to a decent blend as we look to add it into the flour, into our dry ingredients and thing, and make sure it all comes together nicely. Right, so I think that should be about good enough right there. And what she told me to do is to pulse it. Don't blend it too much, or pulse it, and make sure it just get nice and small, some nice small slices. And of course, I can already get the aroma of the pepper and everything, and I left the seeds in because pimento is not really a hot pepper. But the seeds will provide a little bit of heat, which is what I want. Made a bit of a mess. Some of it's coming out. That's okay. Let's go. I think this should be good. I'll just scoop out a bit. Grab a spoon here. And scoop out a bit of it just so I could get to see what it looks like. Alright. And this is what it looks like right here. Make sure I get that in the shot. Right, that is what it looks like. Autofocus, autofocus, autofocus. There you go. That's what it looks like, right? And I'm going to be working with this. So now that I'm at this stage, I'm going to just add the salt. About a teaspoon. Add the sugar. The sugar is about a cup and a half. I kind of eyeballed it. I'm going to add my brown sugar to that. I'm going to add my yeast as well. And I'm making the bread basically the way my mother taught me. But like I said, the recipe really came from Aunty Bessy, so shout out to Aunty Bessy. You know, she always has some clever recipes and stuff. She's the one who gave me the idea for the coconut swirl bread as well. And that didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it, but you know, it's all in the steps, I guess. So like I was pointing out, these are the clever measurements that they have in them, and you can always use that. Like I said, I'm going to be using 3/4 of it. So at least, you know, somebody made a decent decision in that company. And we're gonna open it up and make sure I use like 3/4 of each of them. Like that. Alright, so that is going to be in there. One down. And some margarine. This too has the same measurements. So, you know, it's easy to navigate and make sure and manage, so you can keep track of what you're doing and stuff. Alright, there you go. And if you notice, I'm flying solo again today. Unfortunately, that's because the darling of the channel, Elizabeth, she has a bit of a headache today, and I guess it's been a little too long since we've done anything, so need to get this one out, right? So I'm about to get in and get down with this. Alright, so I've taken this angle just to make sure I get to show you all what it looks like. What's going to happen from here is I'm going to go in with my hand and just break it up, break up the butter and the flour and everything, get it all mixed in together by hand first, you know, and just knead it all into, well, not knead it, but just break it up and get it mixed in, and then I'm going to add my mixture and knead it all in, right? Alright, so here we go. I'm going to be using mainly like my fingertips just to break up the lard and break up the butter, and try and get a decent dry mixture of them together. Get it nice and I don't want to be kneading it and finding clumps of these things. You know, that wouldn't be pleasant for me. I won't enjoy doing it like that, so I have to do it like this and make sure everything comes together nice and powdery, I guess. I may find 1 or 2 clumps, but say what, all that in the melee. As they say, you can't play old mass and afraid to get dirty, right? Alright guys, this is what it looks like. And I'm about to add my pimento mixture. And of course it has a little bit of settling in it. So I'm just going to use this spoon and stir it up a bit. And pour it in and get the kneading. Alright, so I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. Yeah, I almost made a little mistake. Halfway through, I almost forgot one of the ingredients, which is the milk. And I'm going to put that milk in now. It's still going to be able to serve its purpose. Right? And all of that is going to be kneaded in. So my dough is almost finished kneading. So I don't need to put any more water in it. But there's a great deal of the pepper here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to strain it. And now that I've strained it, I have a great deal more pepper that I can afford to put in. And I'm going to continue to knead it in until I get to the texture that I want. Okay, so this is the stage that we're at right now. I'm not finished kneading it. I did not get the texture that I wanted, but you can clearly see the green, your reds, and your oranges. And I didn't get a smooth dough ball like I usually do, but this is the result, and I'm going to let this sit and rise until it's about twice its size. Alright, so look at that, it's exploded. Right, that's what it looks like now, and I'm about to take it out, and I may have more than enough for 2 loaves of bread, so I may do some a little bit extra with it. So yep, this is the stage it is. And I'm about to take it out and cut it. I want to cut it at least in 2, but I feel I might cut it in 3 instead and do something else with the 3rd one. Alright, so here we go, getting the dough out and cutting it. I have my knife and I'm gonna use this. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna use some cooking spray because I don't have any oil at hand. So I'm gonna use some cooking spray and simply coat this with it. Right, that's just for easy management. I'm even going to put some in my hand. That's just, I'll be able to manage it easier. Normally I would be doing this with some oil in my hand. But, you know, improvise. So, here we go. Ooh, it's nice and fluffy. So I don't think I have to let it sit a second time. What I'll do is I'll just cut it right here like so, and of course I'm going to give it a little knead again if it cooperates, or maybe I should just pinch it. I'll just pinch it. Yeah, yep, that's the stuff. Alright, so I'm going to just knead it a bit like this and knead it into the shape that I want it to be to get into my pan. Just going to be, you know, about that, just about. And from here I'm going to put it into the pan. Alright, so here I have my pan. It's not greased. I sprayed the cooking grease in it. Right, and I'm going to use that. So I have it there in the shape that I want. And I'm just going to lift this up. Simply tuck it in here. I'm going to do the same thing for this pan. Alright? Okay, so here we are. I had enough dough for 2 loaves of bread, but I ended up having some more left over. And I decided to just make some smaller, make some small dough balls, and I'm going to just let this rise, and I'm going to bake those smaller dough balls as they are. And as you can see, I got my loaves of bread. I got 2 loaves of bread out of it, and I'm going to let this sit and rise just a little while again, maybe about 20 minutes if so much, and then I'm going to put it in the oven. And while this is happening, I'm also going to be making sure I have some cheese stored, because I know I'm definitely going to eat this with cheese. So that too will be happening as well. Okay, so here we are. I had enough dough for 2 loaves of bread, but I ended up having some more left over. And I decided to just make some smaller, make some small dough balls, and I'm going to just let this rise, and I'm going to bake those smaller dough balls as they are. And as you can see, I got my loaves of bread. I got 2 loaves of bread out of it, and I'm going to let this sit and rise just a little while again, maybe about 20 minutes if so much, and then I'm going to put it in the oven. And while this is happening, I'm also going to be making sure I have some cheese stored, because I know I'm definitely going to eat this with cheese. So that too will be happening as well. Alright, so this is where they have risen to, and I'm going to put them in the oven right now. I'm not going to wait anymore. And I have set my oven to heat to 375 degrees. No, I'm not going to wait until it reaches 375 degrees. I'm going to put them in right away. I don't want to waste that heat or that gas. Alright, so I'll show you the end result when we get to that stage. So my pimento bread is finished, and I'm about to take it out, but I need to be careful with the bread, the loaves. I need to be careful with the loaves, and you're about to see why. I don't want to spoil it, so I'm going to be extra careful in removing it from the oven. Yep, this has to be done delicately. Yeah, this is what happened. That is the end result, and they look, to me anyway, they look fantastic. I love it. Wow, would you look at that? Those are the 3 smaller dough balls that I put there. Make little hops with it. And these are my loaves here. So I'm going to get some shots for you, and I'm going to put them up right now. Alright, so there they are, folks. I love the way they turned out, and I just can't wait to, sink my teeth into it and see just how good it tastes. So I'm gonna leave them here to cool a bit, and then I'm gonna take them out, let them cool some more before we actually cut into it. Alright? Okay, so first off, let me just say that this thing, the smell, the aroma of this thing is just mesmerizing. One whiff and you'll be entranced, and the only thing you'll be able to contemplate is, where is that aroma coming from and how can I get my hands on it? The smell is just magnificent. Second off, you notice that the hops are gone. That's because we already mercilessly devoured the hops, and the taste is just exciting, an exciting experience for your taste buds to have. I can't believe it. This is the first time I ever tried it, first time I ever tasted it, and Aunty Bessy, as always, she does not disappoint with her recipes, and this thing turned out to be marvelous. I strongly recommend that you give this one a try, and the amount of pimento I used was about 8 ounces or so. Could be a little more than 8 ounces. If you live in Trinidad, just go to the market and buy a $10 bag of the pimento, and that should be enough. It is just magnificent. When we cut into this, I'll make sure and get some pics and maybe film a little more so that you'll get to see that as well. Okay, there's one thing I need to let you all know about as well. After you blend the pimento, you should strain it and separate the peppers from the water itself, and put in the peppers along with the dry ingredients and mix all of that together. That will make it much easier to knead rather than the method that I used. And simply use the same water that you blended the pimento in to use to knead your dough. And trust me, you will not regret trying this recipe. So there you have it, guys. Do not even hesitate. You have to give this one a try, and leave a comment down below and tell me what you all think. How did yours turn out? And like I said, the aroma is mesmerizing, and the taste is just exciting. A very a magnificent experience. So give this one a try. Much love. Peace out. This has been another version of Disaster Kitchen.